Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for the witnesses and your families for your service. Mr. Tell, you're a glutton for punishment. A lot of folks don't know you had your Armed Services confirmation hearing yesterday, so you did a great job on that one. So this should be a piece of cake.
Thank you, Senator Sullivan.
By the way, in my state, I'm going to focus a lot on Alaska. I appreciated our meetings, Mr. Tell and Mr. McMaster. Hard to build anything in Alaska, right? You want to build a road, a sidewalk, you usually get, 12 radical far-left environmental groups that sue to stop. We had the King Cove Road. We've only been trying to get that done for 40 years, a 9-mile, single-lane gravel road that every Democrat in the country, including, God rest his soul, Jimmy Carter, writes op-eds, can't build a road in Alaska. So, and then it went so bad, we had the Biden administration's last frontier lockup. My great state suffered through 70 executive orders and executive actions from the Biden administration, singularly focused on Alaska. I like ripping this up because that's not the issue anymore. We now have President Trump, who issued his day one executive order called Unleashing Alaska's Extraordinary Resource Potential. And Mr. Tell, as you and I discuss, there's a lot of great provisions in here. This is all about getting things done in Alaska, not crushing us, as the radical left wants to do. And there's a really good provision about the Corps of Engineers. I'm going to read it to you. The Assistant Secretary of the Army for Civil Works, that's you, shall immediately review, revise, or rescind any agency action that may in any way hinder, slow, or otherwise delay any critical project in the state of Alaska. That's from the president. So will you commit to abide by that very expansive provision to get things done in my great state after 4 years of being crushed by the previous administration?
Senator Sullivan, absolutely. And when I visited your office, I tattooed the executive order that the president issued on Alaska on my heart.
By the way, that's a great answer.
And I will go ahead and read the second paragraph to you from memory, which essentially says that I shall, if confirmed, coordinate as closely with the governor of Alaska as any human could possibly coordinate.
Good. And the senator from Alaska.
Of course.
Yeah, okay, just double checking on that. We talked about the Juneau Glacial Lake outburst flooding. You want to talk about a unique issue in Alaska? We've had this flooding that pretty much happens now every summer. It's amazing it hasn't killed anybody, and we need the Corps' help, right? This is a unique challenge. It's uniquely, the Corps is uniquely qualified to help us. You can't have flooding. I went and toured where this happened this past summer. Over 200 homes were flooded. This is, we got to fix it. And the Corps initially said when I went to them, well, Senator, we're going to work on this. We think it'll be 10 years to study and fix this. Say what? That is the wrong answer. Can you commit to me, and really importantly, the citizens of Juneau, Alaska, that the Corps is going to bring its best minds in a very, very rapid way to help address this unique challenge that we really need the Corps' help on?
Senator Sullivan, thank you for the question. And I did fail to mention as a part of my answer to your previous question that Alaska is home to greater than 60% of the U.S.'s wetlands. And so it makes the work of the Corps of Engineers critically important. That's the need for the executive order. With regard to the glacial outbursts issue in Juneau, you rightly point out that this is an issue that is brand new, as far as I understand it to be, in terms of flood risk management, and it's going to require creativity.
Yes, it is.
And the Corps of Engineers was made to solve tough problems, and so I look forward to working with you, with the surrounding communities, to try to solve this challenge.
Great, thank you. In an expedited manner, not 10 years. That's just...
In an expedited manner, Senator.
Thank you. You and I talked about the Ambler Road, the Port of Nome, so I'll just submit questions for the record. The Port of Nome has got bipartisan support. We don't have an Arctic port anywhere to push back on the Russian and Chinese aggression in my part of the state. That project, it's really important. We got to get over the finish line. can I get your commitment to work with me and the others in this committee on that project? And that's an interesting project. I mentioned you had your SASC hearing yesterday. That's EPW, and that's very much DOD to be able to have Navy ships, icebreakers, be able to pull up to the port of Nome. We don't have a port in the Arctic right now that can handle Navy ships and icebreakers.
Senator Sullivan, one of the most strategic issues that confronts the United States of America today is our status as an Antarctic nation. This is an area of the world that the Chinese Communist Party is very interested in. The Russians are very active. Your state is front and center to the United States of America's being an Arctic nation. We must be. And it seems to me that if we're going to be an Arctic nation, that Alaska ought to be one of the key launching points of that force projection and power projection and economic projection. And so I look forward to working with you to help make the case for the strategic nature of Alaska and the Port of Nome as it relates to the United States asserting itself as an Arctic nation.
Great. That's a great answer. I really appreciate your expertise on that. Finally, I'm going to submit, Madam Chair, for the record, a number of other questions. Just, Mr. McMaster, I mentioned to you, we're a resource-rich, infrastructure-poor state. We have less road miles than Connecticut, and we're almost 120 times bigger. If Senator Whitehouse were here, I would say we're 491 times bigger than Rhode Island. He doesn't like when I say that, but it's true. So can I get your commitment to work with Alaska, this committee, our delegation, on permitting reform, but also on just helping us build, right? We need more roads to resources. We need more roads to help our economy be stronger, and that will help Alaska. But when you unlock the resources of Alaska, it helps America.
Yes, Senator, absolutely. I know the Federal Highway Administration has a strong partnership with the state of Alaska. If I'm confirmed, I look forward to looking for ways to even strengthen that.
And for the record, we also have a couple grants on infrastructure from the infrastructure bill that have been frozen, and I'd like to work with you and your team on just getting these unfrozen. I've talked to Secretary Duffy about it, but can I get your commitment on that as well?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.